we have 206 bones in the human body. That's important, know that. Okay? So bone tissue makes up about 18% of our total body weight. Makes up about 18% of our total body weight. Okay, so I'm telling you, when I do the review, there's no review sheets. I get up here and I talk from memory. Okay? So, the best thing to do is, I don't care if you audio tape me, that's totally fine. There's no tricks in this class. This is the stuff I want you to know, it's the stuff you need to know. Okay? Alright? So I'm not gonna give you a review and I put it on the test or something that's not it. Okay? That's just nonsense. Okay? So we're giving you stuff that we need you to know. Okay? The best thing to do is audio tape it and also have your notes out. Okay? I don't care if it's on a computer, I don't care if you photocopy it, okay? But it's impossible to write down the review. Just write down like that. Unless you know how to do old shorthand. Anybody here an old secretary? No. Okay. All right? So get the dentist. If I stress something, highlight. Okay, highlight. All right? But if you're gonna, and then you have the audio tape too. So when you go back home, fine tune it with the audio tape and your notes. And that's what you focus on. Okay, that's what you focus on. So real quick, there's a teacher here, she's a math teacher, and she's going to Long Island University in the city, and one of the history professors there actually worked here too. So he was a young history professor. He might be dead now, I don't know, but he was here, he was old. Okay, but he was a young history professor teaching in Long Island University, and a younger teacher who was also here, coincidentally, she was a student, but she was a secretary first. And in those days, he did shorthand, so he did dictation. So everything was in shorthand, and then she would go type it up. So the professor's lecturing. There was no PowerPoint in those days. Nobody really wrote on the board. It was just like they would just either read something to you off the notes, or they would just talk. You had to take the notes. So he's talking this and that, and as he's talking, she's doing the dictation, right? She's doing, right? And so when he'd be done reading his notes, he looked up and she was smiling, right? And everybody says, all right. So he'd go back down and start reading his notes again, and she'd do that. So every time he looked up, she'd be sitting there smiling at him, right? So he goes, see me after class, right? Okay. And he goes, you don't think you need to take notes here? Right? He's getting pissed off at him. He goes, I don't give a shit, it's up to you, right? But he goes, you think you need to take notes? She goes, I've been taking notes, right? He goes, no you haven't. Yes I have. She goes, I've taken every word. And he goes, do me a favor, go back to your notes and just look at it. And she read everything word for word. Because she did steno. She did it, they don't do it anymore because they have computers and video things, audio tapes. But yeah, that was so funny. And she just retired. She was a math teacher here, and he was an history teacher. Yeah. All right, so both make up about 18% of our total body weight, depending on the size of the person, of course. Okay, we have two divisions. Axial skeleton, which we're going to do now, that will be on the test. Next chapter is appendicular skeleton, your appendages. So, the axial skeleton consists of your skull, okay, your vertebral column, okay, your ribs and sternum, your hyoid bone. The hyoid bone is just about the level of C3. It's the only bone that doesn't make contact with another bone. It's all muscle tendon attachment. Okay, and our auditory ossicles. Okay, this we will go over when we do special senses. These are the three little bones in your inner ear. It's called the malleus, incus, and stapes. Malleus, incus, and stapes. When there's a sound, it's actually vibratory sensation. Okay, sound waves. So the auricle of the ear catches those sound waves, goes to the external auditory meatus, into a tympanic membrane, your eardrum, that starts to wobble. Okay, in your inner ear, these three bones vibrate. That vibration stimulates the organ of Corti, or organ of hearing. It's a spinal organ. Again, that's called spinal organ. So it looks like a snail shell. In that little snail shell, there is these little hairs. What those little hairs do is they convert that vibratory energy into electrical energy, which goes to the thalamus of your brain. Thalamus of the brain relays it to the temporal portion of your brain, and you interpret that as sound. Okay? You have an association region of sound, which tells you what the sound is. That's why on the phone, you can tell who's talking to you without even looking at the number or the name. Right? Just those sounds of their voice. Okay? So we'll go over that. People that have jobs that are very, very noisy, okay? They get bone conduction deafness after a while. It's basically arthritis of bones. Yeah, arthritis of knees. okay? Right, appendicular, right, skeleton could be our appendages, right? Pelvis, the shoulder girdle, okay? It's gonna be your scapula, humerus, and clavicle. Okay, upper extremities, right, humerus, radius, ulna, carpal bones, phalanges. Pelvic girdle, okay? It's gonna be your ilium, ischium, pubic bone, okay? And lower extremities, your femur, tibia, fibula, patella, tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges. Okay? So this we'll do in the next chapter. This will be all on the second test. Okay? Whoops. Okay. So everything in blue we'll be doing now. Everything in bone color we'll be doing in the next chapter. Okay? Okay. These are the types of bones. Okay, we have long bones, short bones, flat bones, irregular bones, and sesamoid bones. So a long bone, for example, could be a humerus, a radius, an ulna, okay, femur, tibia, fibula, okay? A short bone would be like a wrist bone, okay, a carpal bone, okay? Flat bone, skull bone, right, sternum, pelvis. Irregular bones, like a vertebrae, would be an irregular bone. And a sesamoid bone would be your kneecap, okay? Or these little bones that some people have in the thumbs and the big toe, okay? They look like little sesame seeds, for the kids, okay? Right? Right. So an example, right? Long bone, humerus in the arm, okay? Short bone, trapezoid's a wrist bone. Flat bone, sternum, the irregular bone, vertebrae, and patella would be a sesame. Okay. All right, so now we have parts of bones. Okay. And again, you'll memorize this on accident because we're going to be going over it a lot. So, parts of bones. So a fissure, okay, is like a long hole. A fissure is a long hole. Okay? It's like a slit. Okay? Examples of where you find this would be in your eye socket, your eye orbit. Okay, the posterior portion of your eye. Okay, you have a superior orbital fissure and an inferior orbital fissure. Okay, this is where your cranial nerves go through. That innervate, that means the nerve goes through to the muscle, and innervate the muscle that moves your eyeballs out. Okay, foramen is just a hole. So in like your mandible, you have mental foramen, so the mentalis muscle. This is for blood supply and nerve supply. And you also have one in your eyesight, optic frame, cranial tube, optic nerve goes in there. That's for sight, right? That's sensory for sight. Meatus is like a tube, like a straw, okay? By your ear holes, right? Your external auditory meatus, okay? It tells you external and the outside auditory for your ear, meatus, it's a tube, okay? Fossa is a shallow depression, okay? So on your scapula, right, your shoulder blades, you have suprascapular fossa, infrascapular fossa. I'm supposed to freaking train of thought. I'm thinking about lunch. You know? Which one was that? Oh, fossa, okay, shoulder blade. Okay, so you got the spine and the shoulder blade, right? You got a supraspinous fossa, infraspinous fossa, and subscapular fossa. Okay? It's for your muscles of the rotator cuff. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, parasmine, and subscapularis. So we're going to go over all that. Okay? Trochanter is a large projection. So in your thigh bone or femur, you have a greater and lesser trochanter. It's a rougher projection. It's for muscle attachment. And a tuberosity is a rounded projection, being your humerus, right? You have a greater and lesser tuberosity, again, muscle, for muscle attachment. Okay? All right, so what's good about the book and the slides, they colorize each bone, and no matter what view you're looking at, it's going to be the same color. So for example, this bone in the front, the frontalis muscle, if I do a side view, it's still blue. Okay? All right. So this is how, but remember, keep in mind, when people started studying human body, they had to memorize this stuff also, okay? So the forehead, right, the bone in the front of the skull is called the frontalis muscle. It's in the front, frontalis muscle, okay? So it's a frontal bone. It's a frontal bone, okay, and the frontalis muscle goes over that bone, okay? Everything's in the front, okay? All right, the bone in the nose, it's called the nasal bone. Your nasalis muscle sits over the nasal bone. It's gonna flare your nostrils, quicken your nose. Okay? So on this chapter now, okay, we do this and we do muscles. Okay, there's not a lot of writing because I have pictures here. Okay, so the best thing to do is anything I say, either highlight it or put a little dot next to it. Okay, you can take a picture of this if you want. Okay, and or just write it in real quick. So again, the bone in the front of the skull is the frontal bone. Know that. The nasal bone is the bone in the nose. Of course, know that. The bone that houses the top teeth, and this is called the maxilla. The bone that houses the bottom teeth is the mandible. Okay, so maxilla has the top teeth, mandible has the bottom teeth. That's exactly how, so what's the bone that has the top teeth? Exactly how I'll ask it. Okay, the maxilla is actually two bones. Okay, it's actually two bones, but before you're born, they fuse, they come together. Okay, sometimes that does not happen. What do you think they call that? These two bones don't fuse. The cleft palate. Cleft palate. Okay? Right? So, you see, a lot of times facial maxillary surgeons, they call it doctors without borders, they'll go to some countries that are underdeveloped because they don't have a lot of nutrition, so this won't fuse. Okay? So, they'll have what they call a cleft lip. Okay? If it's a cleft lip, it's just the skin that doesn't fuse, but it could be the whole mandible. So what they do is they only operate to fix it. They don't have to fix it. Okay, so in the mandible we have two holes. Know those? That's called the mental foramen. It's called the mental foramen. Okay. The mentalis muscle goes over that. Now I'll ask, what bone has the mental foramen? Or what are the two foramen in the mandible? There's different versions of the test. It's all same. Huh? This a what? Oh, this here. Yeah, alveolar nerve. Right, and you have blood supply and nerve supply go through there. Yes, absolutely. And the alveolar nerves go through there. I'll show you where that goes through in another picture. Absolutely. So I'll show you when they do a nerve block. That's what they're actually shooting. All areas. Okay. So funny. So they numb your teeth. They numb your face when they do surgery. They used to do it without any. They used to get in there and used to pull it. Just pull the tooth. Have a couple first they hold you down, they put a knee on your chest and just pull it. You can't get out. Yeah. A lot of times they probably give you like whiskey, like rock up whiskey. So the next day not only are you sick, you have a headache, but your mouth is killing you. Right. So the cheekbones, I'll actually ask you, the cheekbones are called the zygomatic bones. Cheekbones are the zygomatic bones. Okay? Now if you look in here, okay, you see the green? See the green? Okay, this is the sphenoid bone. I'll show you that probably next time. Okay, the sphenoid bone. Okay, what it means wing in Latin, it looks like a butterfly. Okay, but now it's got parts in it. So this is my superior orbital fissure. That's my inferior orbital fissure. That's my optic foramen. It's a superior orbital fissure. It's right here. It's labeled here. Okay, superior orbital fissure, inferior orbital fissure, optic foramen. So cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6